Personally, to tell you the truth, I've never seen anything in an older XX that I wanted or liked in the realm of dating and relationships. Besides those no bigger than a cow who are amazing in the bedroom for their sexual experience. I just don't see the madness for these types of women, especially when they're on the clock to look like a grandma in a few years at most. Also, if you want to be a father, older women aren't your best option. You will probably have to go the IVF route, which can cost a lot of money, just to have a child when you could easily have gotten pregnant cheaply. It would be great if they didn't have itches and scratches, and if they can't get pregnant, then even better. Some of you bad guys will be able to roar the hole into that wet grip as much as you want, and she won't be able to get pregnant. If you're around your 60s or dating a 35-year-old woman, so that makes sense. Or a guy in his 50s dating a woman in his 30s makes sense to me. But guys in their 20s and 30s are dating women in their 30s and 50s, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these guys? Then, to make matters worse, society shames you for not dating an ex. Exes who obviously aren't worth taking seriously. So I want to know where we're going as a society, but that's not a good thing. But before I get involved with people who shame men for not dating leftover women, I've personally never buried my salami and an older woman because I have a bias, and that bias isn't for older women. And believe me, in a million years, I wouldn't want to wake up next to an older ex every time. Most of them don't like being around to begin with, and tend to have a cynical outlook on life for ruining their lives when they were young. They are stubborn, they complain a lot, they're vicious, they have a lot of problems, they're rarely happy, they're insanely unhappy, etc. Some of the things I've endured living with older women are incredible, to say the least. If you don't believe me, look at older married men and tell me if they don't look like lifeless shells walking around without a soul. It seems that some of these guys are just waiting to croak and get away from their wives. So when I see young and middle-aged men flock to older women, I have to ask myself if these men are wrong, or just have no idea what trap they're falling into. Or they don't get younger women, so they pick those types of women to be in one committed relationship. This is just my opinion and not a fact. So if you are dating older women, seriously let me know why you chose this path. First, society wants men to take care of women. Well, that's no surprise, but in society, that's the people around you. They will always want women to be taken care of and have the best possible situation, even at the expense of men. But remember that when an older woman is dating a younger man, everyone around her praises and encourages her because people know that, unless the woman is, then you will need financial support later in life because most women are bad with money. You just have to understand that supporting women is essential. But with the wonders of modern science, as Coach Greg Adams would call it, a leftover woman can be pretty good-looking for her age. So people will subconsciously want women who can still look young with makeup, Botox, hair dye, and breast implants in their butt to have a partner. This is how we connect because we want to see people who look young to be with someone else. If you don't believe me, remember that everyone usually what a young adult asks about when dating someone. No one expects young or old to be single, and the same goes for X to XES, who can make up their faces like a clown and still look good doing it. If you're going against the grain and really want women to try, if they look alike, then they will shame you for being an older man. Always remember that it is a competition between women and men to find a partner. So in the case of women who have to compete for the best man possible, they will use whatever tactics are necessary to score. It all comes down to money and the availability of partners. If you really stop and think about it, the more men who date younger women, the fewer men are available for the remaining older women. So you will hear it said that she is young enough to be your daughter. You are a perv because you want this 22-year-old girl. And the best shame of all, she will only use you for your money. We all know that leftover XX are not valuable when it comes to being a long-term companion to their mother or being a candy on their arm. Most of these XX have nothing to offer but children, luggage for other men, and debts from insanity. The itch, the ability to be childless without the help of modern science. Most men get it, and if men know that they will be treated badly, they would never choose these types of women. But if society sells the dream that these women are still valuable, then of course someone will take them away. If a man doesn't mind the embarrassment and does what he wants, I want him to realize that women cannot control that man. Only men who care about what women in society think of them will fall into the shame trap that men set for men to keep dating older women. Until men stop caring, then shame. This tactic will keep these men on the plantation from dating surplus women and getting a bad deal. But it is what it is. I just want them to see why they embarrass them so much and what they get out of letting themselves be controlled.